are live. Good morning and welcome to another episode of Money Matters, broadcasting live from Providence, Rhode Island, only on onedealaway.com. My name is Nev. This is Money Matters, and it's a Sunday. Happy Sunday to you. It is August 23rd. My goodness, school is about to start, or is it? I know for some of you it is, and so some not so much. It might be going online. I mean, school is going to start. It's just a matter of where and how. That's the big question. That's the $1,000,000 question, as they say. So, anyways, welcome to the episodes today. We have all kinds of cool things to talk about. And as you know, weekends we typically focus on cryptocurrencies, learning more about them, learning what's going on in that world. And today is no different. We're going to be focusing and talking a lot about crypto, a lot about what's going on in the market. And today we actually are bringing a little bit of off-chain information, just like some of our Oracle cryptocurrency projects that exist out there, off-chain information about what's going on with some of our favorite investors. One of them being Warren Buffett. Now, we've talked about Warren Buffett here on the channel earlier this week, actually, or earlier last week, depending on when your week starts. For some people, it starts on Monday. For some people, it starts on Friday. I don't know, or Sunday. So let me know what's going on. But anyways, we're going to be discussing a lot about what his indicator is telling him, and is another crash coming or not. What can we expect? We're going to be discussing a little bit about Algorand, because I did say, maybe we should talk about that, and I think we should. It is a good project, and I think we should definitely explore a bit more of what's going on in the Algorand, what that is. We do have some information and news coming out of Asia when it comes to Chainlink and what's happening there. And of course, we're going to be looking at some of the large cap alts, because as you know, yesterday was a sea of red. Today, not as much, and there's some recovery happening in it. We're also going to be discussing of how information, or how geopolitical challenges and politics inside a country are potential good driving force for what's going to happen inside the crypto. So overall, we do have a full show to talk about and to discuss. And I do want to welcome everybody watching this live on onedealaway.com. Feel free to sign in, say hello. And as always, we're going to do a Q&A at the end of the episode. For everybody watching this on YouTube or anywhere else, do smash that like button right now, and do subscribe and hit the bell button, or whatever subscription service you can find over there on the channel, and make sure that you get all of the information, because we do talk about the relevant information of how you can actually protect your wealth and potentially make some money. And some of the conversations that we have had here, had some of the individuals watched it, they would have done spectacularly well, because we've been talking about, hey, you should be getting into Bitcoin right about now, when Bitcoin was only about 3,000 some dollars. And that was, well, there goes the sirens again. So, but it's so nice and lovely and cool outside, y'all. I can't shut it down. So we're just going to have to suffer through this one together, okay? Welcome to the city. Let's do this. It was not fair to make you all listen to that, and I refuse to shut the window because it's gorgeous outside. It feels like fall, early fall, finally. My favorite time of the year, y'all. And I used to hate it when I was a kid and had to go to school. But now that I'm an adult, and it doesn't really matter that it's a school start date, technically speaking, there's really no schooling to go to. I mean, I do take online classes and all kinds of things, right? And learning all the time, but, no traditional school that, like, you got to go sit there and, like, there's a teacher who tells you you're stupid and idiot. And, I'm sure you've never had those teachers, but I have. So, anyways, didn't care much for it. And now I love it, because you still get these, like, super nice warm days. A little bit too warm at times, I won't lie. But you get like these beautifully cool evenings and mornings, and It's so amazing. So, anyways, I'm letting the cool air come on in, and I can take deep breaths. But because we do live in a city, well, every so often you get silly living noise, and that includes sirens. Even when there's like nobody on the street, I honestly don't see a purpose. But hey, what do I know? All right. So let's take a look at the market. Let's stop chit chatting. Let's look at the market and see what's going on. So you can see that Bitcoin is at 1159. So again, a little bit of sideways movement, kind of like up 0.1% in a 24 hour, but down 2.3% in 7 days. Volume is still holding up, market cap is still holding up. Excuse me. ETH, as you can see, should have done hydration before we started, but anyways, ETH, as you can see, is below 400, and it's down almost 10% on the 7 day basis. And you can see that the bunch of the coins are down on the 7 day basis, except the ones that don't exist for that long for whatever reason. One of the interesting pieces that you will notice is a dot. Polkadot is actually up in the top 10 cryptos right now. And of course, that's managed by the market cap, right? So, definitely interesting project to kind of see, and very, very cool. Congrats to the Polkadot community and the creators and everybody else. This is super exciting. ADA broke into the top 10. Link is like number 5 now. So congrats to everybody. And talking about Link, as you can see, it's down 19.7, almost 20% down. So is this like dump, or should you buy? And we're going to be discussing a little bit about Link. We're going to be discussing a little bit about Dot. We're going to be discussing about some of the many, many projects that you're seeing. But overall, not, a terrible market. Overall, it's okay. Mostly sideways movement. When we do take a look at who is pumping over the last 24 hours, Atom is up 25% in the last 24 hours, y'all, which is very, very exciting. Ocean is up 18.7% and 17. Band up is 15%. So hey, welcome back, Band. Now, Band, we've done discussions about Band and stuff. So in the 7 days, it's actually down almost 19%. It's also down 1.2% in an hour. But in 24 hours, it's up 15.7%. So Band has actually, been it's been fairly volatile, but we've seen that with a bunch of alts. Ample is up 12% in the 24 hours and up 28.5% in 7 days. Nano is up 13%, BTM up 12.6, Theta up. So you can see that there's many good projects that are actually up on the day, on the 24-hour period. And when we take a look at kind of what's going on as far as the giant dump, GNT is negative 9.4, ICX negative 8.8, Cell negative 7, BNT negative 3.8, then Mana negative 3.2. And then after that, it's in twos and ones and stuff. So not a whole lot of dumping stuff, a lot of side movements that is happening. And even when we take a look at the largest dump of the 24 hours, did you notice something interesting? I did. And, they might have gone down negative 4%, but they were up 53% in 7 days. So that's something for sure that we should be aware of. So you gotta wanna watch out for all of the stuff. I always talk about, you wanna be smart about the whole thing. You don't wanna, jump in and just chase the rally. You wanna watch things and see when they're actually going and how far they're going and what's going on in their little world, so that you understand of, hey, when is a good time to buy? When everything goes parabolic like this, let me show you an example, okay? And I'm actually using the GNT, right, Golem, because it pumped 53% in 7 days. Okay, it's showing now 48.8. Okay, cool. So, what is happening is that every time it goes straight up, it has to come down. Okay, So if you buy over here, cool. When it does something crazy like this, it might be time to take a little bit of profit off of it and then let it ride, let it do its thing. So typically, what I end up doing, for example, you don't have to do what I do, but what I end up doing, let me see if this is actually going to work. Hold on. Let's see if Nev knows how to use this stuff. So what I might do is say that I buy here at $1, right? Right here. Okay, and I'm using, or it's not $1. Sorry, it's that's 10 cents, and I'm using this just because the math is easier, right? And say that it goes to uh, 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 right 0.125. Okay, and I can't say put that in cents because there's what, like 12 and a half cents. We don't have that. Our currency only goes 2 digits. Cryptos can go up to like what, 18 digits. So say that it goes over here, and say that I have put in, I don't know. Oh my gosh, this is so challenging to do it with the mouse. All right, let me see if my pen thing is going to work. Yes, it is. Okay, beautiful. All right, we're gonna do this. So, yay for ability to write on the screen. Love these computers. Okay, so say I buy this for $100, right? Well, now because it has gone up, now I have $125. Okay, so this is not the greatest of an examples because we are uh, you know talking about like only 25% gain, but it's in a very short period of time. So if I can catch it, which you should be paying attention to your money every single day, what I might do is I might take this profit and put it into some sort of stable coin, right? So stable coin, right? And so bring this balance back to $100. So that way I actually take some of my profits out. Now, if it ends up happening, okay, let me see if we can do this. Yes. If it ends up happening that I say, spend $100, okay, and it goes parabolic, right? And I all of a sudden now have $250 here, okay, right? Because it happens, especially in crypto. So what I will do is I will take out, when I see this happening, I don't be greedy. Don't be greedy. You want to be greedy to a degree, but don't be too greedy. So what I will do is I will basically take like $150 out. Okay, this brings my value to $100. Okay, and I actually not only do I protect, so it just kind of depends on where we are in the market, right? So if I do this, I will take either 100 to 150, but typically I will take some profit with my initial investment, but at least my initial investment, and then let this puppy ride, let it do its own thing. So because the way that I think about this whole concept of investing, right, is that I want to put in amount of money here and then let it ride up. When I'm able to take this and bring it back in, because I always want to protect my initial investment. Okay, so I will protect my initial investment. That means that if I put in $100, I take the $100 out. That way I don't lose anything. My capital still remains and I can deploy it in other projects. Okay, and then whatever happens here, I kind of let it ride. If it comes down, it doesn't really matter. I mean, I will pay attention, and if it kind of starts to look something like this, where it's parabolic up, then yeah, I will actually take profits along the way, bringing it back down to the balance, right? Because because the number of the shares that you have goes up in a price, so I'll take out the money, then I put it in somewhere, accumulate on the cash position or the stablecoin position, and then when it comes back down, right here, okay, when it does this, right here, then because I had that money in a stable coin, right, because I was putting profits in, now I have money over here. I didn't lose anything, and I'm able to actually buy and then ride that wave yet one more time, because a lot of times folks end up doing something very interesting, right? So they will look at, let's pay attention to kind of what happens, right? You see right here, right here, right here, right here, here, right? Do you see what I'm circling. This one is a horrible circle. But all of them kind of have nothing happening, nothing happening. It goes parabolic. What does it do? Well, it comes back down. It might revisit the old lows, and it might not, and kind of goes sideways, and then it goes up, and it kind of comes down, and it goes up, and it kind of comes down. So what I will do is take profits on the way up, invest when it's down, take the profits, invest when it's down, and I will play this game all the way up. Now, what a lot of people do is that they will do something like this. They will see the rally, they will buy here, then it dumps, and then they sell here. And then they see the rally, and the FOMO kicks in, so they buy here, and then it comes down, and then they sell here, right? They panic. You don't want to do that. You want to do the complete opposite of what your heart and fear tell you to do. And that is, don't do that. You don't want to do that. So, even here with Golem, like, cool. If you invested over here, that's amazing, right? So if you bought over here, okay. So you bought it at the wrong time. It's okay. Just don't sell. Hold on to it. Now, you don't want to also catch it like to the point where, I am also the first one that says, you want to cut your losers fast. But folks, this is over here. Like, we're talking what? A day, 7 days? Come on, computer. Am I clicking? Is this happening? All right. Something is not quite clicking. I don't know. Maybe because I have the writing thing. Oh, that's because I had a writing thing. So it was like, no, we disabled all of the buttons. So this move over here, this giant dump thing, is basically a 24-hour move, y'all. It's a 24-hour move. So unless you are like a trader, crazy trader and stuff, I wouldn't even worry about it. Look, this is Friday of, it just shot up. And this is the last couple of hours. So I wouldn't even worry about it at this point, right? So you want to focus on the long term. Now, if you're a long-term investor, and chances are you bought somewhere over here, right, or here, or here, so this is fine, right? And hopefully you have taken some profits along the way. So you want to be smart about it, and so this is why I'm also saying that you don't want to dump all of your money into one project. You want a dollar cost average, so that way you avoid some of these bumps and ups and downs and the crazy stuff. And when you see it parabolically go up, you pause on the buy. You pause on the buy. It's very simple and very easy to do. And here is my lesson for one of, he doesn't know me, I don't really know him, but this article made me laugh, and it has to do with Dave Portnoy. I guess he's the founder or CEO or something of Barstool Sports, and he's turned into quite a bit of celebrity of sorts, from my understanding, on like Twitter, and started with this whole like, I will teach you how to, trade stocks on Robinhood. And that's kind of how it started since the March thing, or that's, so I guess he's one of the Robinhood Army guys. But the funny part is that the Barstool Sports is a gambling company. So, yeah, he's going to teach you how to gamble. Yeah, way to go. Anyways, so Dave Portnoy, I guess, has decided, and I've read a little bit news about him, that he's been like telling people like, this is how you trade, and then people are like starting to follow him. And he's also the proponent that he's been telling everybody markets always go up. Anyways, clearly you can see what kind of opinion I have. So he decided that he's going to jump into cryptocurrencies, and I guess he did it when he did an interview with Winklevoss twins, and decided to use Gemini, and like allegedly put in $250,000 into it to like show the audience of like, how tough he is and what he can do. So anyways, here goes this. He lost $25,000 and decided that he has exited crypto altogether. So I think that the interview with Winklevoss twins was like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, something like that. So in my humble opinion, it sounds like Mr. Portnoy had bought at the top and then sold when things started to go down. And so he basically went to mention that the Chainlink supporters, also known as Link Marines, labeling them as frauds, presumably because the asset has recently gone through a correction after hitting an all-time high. So I'm guessing that he has bought some Link without, at the top. So he likely bought it at $20. So Dave is clearly not watching Money Matters because I have been telling you not to do that, and I've been telling everybody not to do that. But here is the part that actually made me laugh. And the most recent crypto related tweet on Portnoy's overactive feed says it all. I am out of crypto because coins don't always go up. Stocks, on the other hand, continue to always go up. Dave, I have news for you, my friend, and everybody else following and watching Dave. Markets don't always go up. Everything is cyclical, and when it goes up parabolically, it has to come down at some level. Now, with what he's saying, I do want to give him a little bit of credit here, is that the markets have been always going up. AK always being since like what, second part of March or whatever, when the Fed decided we're just gonna start buying everything to prop up the market and basically make it into a fake everything now, where it's like a zombie market, zombie companies, zombie economies, zombie everything. And sure, in the world of zombie, where the Fed, as they call daddy, always has your back, right? You can start all the fights you want when you have somebody that is 7 times your size behind you. So, and that's kind of what we have in the stocks. But it sounds like Mr. Portnoy doesn't know really how to invest. And, crypto market is different than stock market. It is much more volatile, and it actually has way more ability to make money and, of course, lose money if you don't know what you're doing. So his number one error is that, he basically dumped a lot of money into the market and bought at a top, bought at a high in mid-August. So he likely got Bitcoin at like 12.4 and likely got Chainlink and 20. And so now they're at like 11.5, right? And 15, $16. And they're still really, really good projects, and they're still going to perform really well. And I do believe that Mr. Portnoy will come back, because knowing how he believes that the markets should behave and how things work, and the fact that he owns a gambling company and is very big on gambling, he'll be back. We just need to hit another highs, and he'll come back. Maybe he'll lose more. I don't know. We'll see. That just made me laugh. So, anyways, Dave Portnoy, you just gotta watch out the market, buddy. Things do go up and down. I don't know what to tell you. So, I'm sorry you lost money. That is never funny, but it is one of the things that you should, be watching of, how things go. Spend a little bit of time learning about how markets behave, how different assets behave, before you just jump in, because it's uncharted waters. And when the waters are uncharted, you got to spend a little bit of time learning of where you are and go cautiously, dollar cost averaging in and out, as opposed to just dump the large chunk of cash just so that you can show off. Showing off doesn't really work in crypto, nor does FOMO. So there you go. Hopefully, we have all learned something from Mr. Portnoy, and I am certain that he'll jump back into the market, and his business will continue on thriving with all of the gambling stuff, because plenty of people out there to gamble with their money. So he'll recover very quickly. I have no doubt. Anyways, interest in crypto up in Belarus as information war rages. So, as you likely know, there's all kinds of challenges happening in Belarus politically. The people are rioting. So, we're seeing riots everywhere around the world, y'all. And we've been talking about it. But, anyways, they're basically saying that they could be, they started to control the internet and what you can and cannot see. A lot of sites kind of being down is what the reports are coming in. And excuse me. And so what is happening is that they are talking about soon imposing foreign currency exchange limits. And so kind of like banning, or not necessarily banning, but banning of how much, dollar and euro and stuff you can actually purchase. And many think, or some think, that that could drive citizens to crypto en masse. I think we can definitely see that happen. What we'll likely see is that people will try to get as much dollars and euros as possible. We likely may see a flight into gold, And what we also will see is that likely, yes, you will see some folks jumping into the cryptocurrencies for sure. Belarusian exchange says that the business is up since the protests began earlier this month, and particularly as banks are now starting to charge exorbitant rates for USD and Euro purchases. So what people are doing is basically going out there and trading their local currency in for dollars and for euros, because because of the high uncertainty. I believe that their currency is starting to lose value. Don't quote me on that because I didn't research that. I'm just going to guess, because typically when you see some of that stuff, we see some of the prices kind of go up, which is an effect of an inflation. And so that's what we're kind of seeing folks going in. But it wouldn't surprise me if they try to get into gold. And of course, I do believe that many folks will go into the crypto as well. So that's definitely something for us to watch and learn from. Now, one of the things that is very interesting is I mentioned gold. And why would we talk about gold when we're talking about crypto this weekend? Well, because both are equally important. And I told you I was going to share with you some important indicators that probably one of the best known around the world investors, Warren Buffett. Way back when, Buffett basically, used to say, if you own an ounce of gold, for an eternity, that's all you're going to have, just an ounce of gold. It's a stupid piece of metal. It does nothing. It doesn't respond to anything. There's no cash coming from it, blah, 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 blah. He basically was saying it's the worst thing on the planet. He did point out also years ago that what motivates most gold bugs or gold purchasers, they call them often gold bugs, is that their belief is that the fearful and the fear will grow and that things are really rough. Well, we've talked about the fact that Warren actually had exited a lot of his financial sector stuff and restaurant stuff and travel stuff and a lot of stuff, and that he actually has invested in a gold miner. So I guess it appears now that he too is scared like everybody else. Now, I share this over here because Buffett has also done something very interesting when it came to crypto, as have many other investors, calling it useless, calling it a scam, calling it stupid. But slowly but surely, they're starting to turn around and starting to actually invest. So people used to poo poo on gold and silver. People used to poo poo on cryptocurrencies. And we're seeing people, the same people that used to poo poo on this stuff, are going in and basically jumping into the poo-pooed assets, right? Things that they used to call scams and stupid and that kind of stuff. So we have seen that Buffett actually has jumped into it. Now, one of the things that Buffett has is that he has his trading indicators. So I'm going to share with you an article of what I have been able to find. In the trading economics here, you can see that there is this challenge of like, oops, this is what happened, right? Here's our GDP stuff of what's been going on. And, the third quarter is not going to be released until, because we still have, a few weeks left of the third quarter, but I think it's going to continue. Now, I've tried to make it big, and when I make it big, it makes the charts ridiculously big, and then it makes this stuff not so big. So, but we'll try. So basically, there's a lot of concerns about the second wave of the beer overflow and the lack of agreement and back and forth of the another stimulus, yes or no, and what's going on. And of course, nothing has happened. Nothing's going to happen post Labor Day. So post Labor Day is when you should start watching for all kinds of moves, for harder political stuff, for potential market crash, for potential cryptocurrency going down, potential, and I'll explain why. Just stay tuned in here. Don't freak out yet, please. We're gonna talk about it. I'm very bullish on all of this stuff, but we could experience some turbulence. That's all I'm gonna say. Uh, the U.S.-China trade war, the inflation, that kind of stuff, that the Fed is signaling zero interest rates until 2020, and they're going to try to basically increase the inflation, and they're printing trillions of dollars, and the U.S. economy is shrinking. So all of those different components are driving a lot of investors, including Buffett, into safer assets such as gold, and I would also argue for younger generations as well into cryptos as well. And I think other folks will shift into it, but time will only tell what will or will not happen. Okay, so what we're seeing is that the Barrick Gold had soared 11.3% on Monday, and year to date, Toronto based gold miner has gained 65%, which is quite lovely and an unprecedented move for these kinds of things. But then again, in these times, of course, it makes sense. Bullion prices have climbed 34% year to date, and silver gained an astonishing 35%. Now, Buffett has an indicator. Now, they were talking here because they're talking about gold, and I didn't want to make, I want to make sure that I'm being, truthful and honest about the whole article. So, there's a Buffett indicator, and Buffett indicator basically is the measure that takes a total market cap of all U.S. companies and divided by the country's GDP. When the indicator is a 70 and 80, it's time to invest. When it moves above 100, investors should take the foot off the gas and reconsider their assets, right? And potentially diverge into something different. Now, we are right now well above or beyond 100%. At the end of the July, my favorite market indicator hit a 30-month high. And so basically what you do is you take Wilshire 5000 total market index, valued July on 29th at 33 trillion. Remember the number, right? And then divided by the second quarter US GDP of only 19.4 trillion. That leaves a Buffett indicator of 170%, a record high. So that's kind of where we have, and this is basically, what actually here's the GDP stuff, right? And we've taken a dive, right? And here is the Buffett indicator. I'm going to actually have to make this smaller. I tried to make it bigger so that you can see the words. See what I'm saying? The chart is unreasonably large as comparison to the font. So here is the Buffett indicator, right? And you will see something interesting that, look at the good old times, man. Good old times over here. And then we've hit, what is this, late 90s? Oh, wait, that was 2000, right? Kind of hit it and we went back down, and it was kind of cool. You could go in and buy and stuff. And then we hit again about 100. So that was about 2008. Then it kind of came down. And then since then, this was a good time to buy. Since then, it's been going straight on up. And it's very, very scary because if we look at the corrections that are supposed to happen whenever it's so far out of whack, when we look at the corrections, it goes from like this, it comes back down to like some sort of low. Well, if this is the case and it kind of has to go back, even if it doesn't go back to the low, but even if it comes down to here, that's a huge difference. So that means that those prices of the stocks have to basically go down 70%, something like that, 100%. I mean, that's crazy, right? Or the economy has to climb that up. Well, I think it's very clear for everybody that the economy is not coming back up anytime soon. So that gives a very high potential probability, right? It's not a guarantee. I have no clue. My crystal ball broke years ago, and none of the stuff I say here is financial advice. All I'm just trying to do is analyze stuff and have a conversation here with you and share kind of what my thinking is. So everything that I'm sharing, please don't just rely on my words. I want you to start thinking for yourself, okay? And don't follow people out there because people make mistakes. You gotta follow yourself, okay? So that includes me. That includes everybody else, including the Twitter boy that we just talked about. So, anyways, that's the scary piece. Now let's continue over here. Again, I have to make it bigger because now I can't even read the article. Over the past 2 decades, the ratio has only broken into triple digits in 3 occasions: in 2000, 2008, and again in 2018. Recession followed in 2000 and 2008. And since 2018, we have been in highly, highly, highly overvalued market. But the economy, at least, has been kind of keeping pace since 2018 or so. But now the economy is definitely not doing it. And so, he basically back in 2001, right here, back in 2001, uh, Warren Buffett warned that when indicator hit a record high in the months before the dot-com crash, it should have been a very strong warning signal. So we are getting the warning signal right now, and the question now remains: well, Warren is predicting the stock crash. How will Bitcoin react? Oh, look at this. Don't you love it when it all ties up? And by the way, I do have to say, Cointelegraph, I love their graphics and stuff. So, very, very cool. I love this stuff. So, at first you're like, it's kind of childish, but I absolutely love it. So, anyways, I tried to highlight the stuff, but Cointelegraph has this guy over here that you see that where my mouse is. In the social, whenever you try to use any sort of highlighter, goes like bananas and explodes over the whole screen and basically destroys it. So what they're basically saying that yes, it is hidden in that kind of stuff. Where the part that I wanted to share with you is that throughout the past months, I'm right here in case you're wanting to read along. Read along. Bitcoin has shown some correlation with the S&P 500 and gold. Since late July, due to decline in the US dollar, BTC, Bitcoin, has more closely followed the price of the precious metal. An argument could be made that a potential pullback in the US stock market could strengthen Bitcoin's momentum. Some institutions have started to consider Bitcoin as a legitimate store of value, causing institutional inflows into BTC to spike. And I absolutely agree. And so here is this chart where they're talking about it, right? And so the black line is the Bitcoin, right? And the price of Bitcoin. The gold one is, well, gold. And you can see the price of gold. Now, one thing that you will notice right over here with my little mouse slash zoom in glass is happening. This is March. And so what happened in March is that the stocks kind of went down. What we do see often is that when you see something basically go down, when you see a stock market kind of crash because everything went down, literally everything went down. And I was even surprised. I personally was surprised the fact that gold went down, that Bitcoin went down, because I'm like, wait a minute, isn't this built to actually do something completely opposite? But what I failed to realize, and the reason why we see when everything dumps, literally everything dumps. So you want to be very, very careful with the stuff, right? Yes, sure, gold is cool and Bitcoin is cool and so is Ethereum and a lot of altcoins and cash and bonds and right, everything is awesome. That's fine. What you want to do is you want to really pay attention when the market crashes. It takes down everything because a lot of the folks when they trade on the margin, meaning they either lose everything, they end up owing way more money, or they have to sell other assets to kind of close the gap. So a lot of times what they will do is that they might have some gold, they might have some Bitcoin, they will have to dump it, okay, and be able to kind of close onto the position. So what you want to do is be prepared for something like that. Now, we just talked about the fact that Buffett indicator has hit the all-time high. We are talking about the fact that typically during summer, people are like, it's beach time, it's this time, it's that time. People are kind of like trying to relax, especially this year with all of the craziness that we've been experiencing for months. People just need like they need a little bit of zen time, right? I think everybody's there. I know I'm there. I'm sure that you are there. We all kind of need I just need a break, man. I just need a break. I can't keep up with it. This is nutso. So people tend to sort of relax a little bit in summer, try to kind of go away, local beach or lake or mountain or even backyard, like anything will do, like just get me out of the house now. But back to school is coming, Congress is coming back. September, after Labor Day, we typically start seeing all kinds of activities start to pick up in the stock market, in the politics. This is an election year, so politics are going to get even crazier. And so there is a lot of poise for potentially something major being able to happen. And of course, the politics is super, super crazy and wild. We have, we've seen some wars before, But this year's political war between the Reds and the Blues, is worse than ever. And it seems like every year it gets even worse. I mean, to the point where people are like, look at how big his nose is. I mean, like ridiculous stuff. It's like 5-year-olds fighting. But anyways, so we could potentially see this fall being potentially very brutal for the money in the markets. Again, I don't know anything. My crystal ball has broken and stuff. It's just more of being careful about the stuff. So if you have some profits and you have made it, perhaps time to kind of take it now. Watch the stuff. Don't chase the rallies, as I have shared before with you, and you definitely want to pay attention to kind of where we are in the market and play the long-term game. Okay. The one thing that doesn't go down when everything crashes is the dollar. Okay. So that is the only game that is sort of inverse to the whole thing, and dollar has been gaining strength. So that's why I keep saying, you want to have some Bitcoin and crypto? Yes. You want to have some gold? Absolutely. You want to have dollars? You want to have some bonds, and you definitely want to have some real estate long term. So, but again, none of this stuff is financial advice, just the way that I like to think about the whole game. Okay. Now, what do the technical analysts think in the near term? In the short term, technical analysis analysts are cautiously anticipating a consolidation phase for Bitcoin. So they're basically saying, like, yeah, we could see this, we've kind of gone up, kind of sideways, then it goes up, it needs to go sideways, then it needs to take on up. Like, that's a normal sort of progression, right? It goes up, consolidate, right? And consolidate sometimes means that it has to come down a little bit and sort of like close that gap. Because whenever you have this giant move, I hope you can see my mouse. I'm trying to move it actively over here so that you can see it. But whenever you see this over here, it has to be consolidation period. It actually has to close that gap over the time before it can actually do much of anything else. It is very, very, very normal. Michael Van de Pope, full-time trader in Amsterdam Stock Exchange, said dropping below 1150 again could lead to a bearish divergence, right? But it could, anything could, right? But if we watch what Warren is saying, and then of course we have over here the Robert Kiyosaki also recently tweeted that a banking crisis is coming, and nothing surprised me, and I've been saying the same thing. I do believe that Bitcoin and gold and silver and that kind of stuff will take over in the near term. Okay, my gosh, time is flying when we're having fun. All right, so next one coming in is Chainlink the next Ethereum? And this is coming out of Asia Times. So it's interesting for me to kind of get into some of the stuff of like, hey, what's going on over there in the other part of the world? So Chainlink has been going absolutely parabolic lately, shooting past $18, actually hit $20, I believe, falling down to about $15, $16 at the time of the writing, and it's now the fifth largest crypto. A framework for building decentralized Oracle networks that give you smart contract access to secure, reliable data inputs and outputs on the chain and off the chain. So I think that there's something very, very cool about it. Now, that's too much to process, so there was a different person that said, hey, let me explain this to you. Chainlink is, at its core, a mean of bridging the gap between the world of blockchains and the outside world. Many observers expect the crypto to skyrocket to at least $100 to $200 in this particular cycle, with some wildly optimistic projections going as high as $1,000 in at least the long term. And this there's spring allergies and then there's fall allergies. God love it, with all the fallen leaves. Okay. So, anyways, the long term, and you know, with this rally or the bull market that we're experiencing, this is something that I believe is going to last well into 2021, 2022, maybe even 2023. We'll see, and a lot of it also depends on kind of what's going to happen in the overall market and the economy and that kind of stuff. So, folks are very, very bullish about it and basically saying that, yeah, long term, there is a high potential to go in. So now the interesting piece is that if you have actually gone into the chain link, which many people have, and if you had actually bought at the time when we were starting discussion, it was well below $10. You have basically doubled your money, and hopefully you have followed the advice of like take a little bit of money out, let it simmer, let it do its thing, and then you can kind of go back in. But hey, even if you bought at 20, if this puppy does have a potential to go up to anywhere between 100 and $1,000, then keep on buying. And here is my thing: do I think that it could? Absolutely. I believe that chain link, again, not a financial advice at all. Please understand that. So you got to do your own research and your own thinking, and if you need somebody's advice, then you're gonna find a financial advisor, somebody that can legally give you financial advice, because I can't, nor will I. So just putting that out there, okay? Um, but I do think that Link does have a strong fundamentals and stuff, because there's a lot of things that happen that are not on chain that kind of have to combine the two. And one of the things is that, like, if we talk about the supply chain, we have some crypto projects that are bringing the produce supply chain onto the blockchain, right? But produce doesn't live digitally. Produce lives in a physical world, right? So that apple, I mean, sure, you can display it digitally, right? You can have a photo of it or draw it or whatever. But an actual apple that you can eat, cook with or whatever, it's a physical product. And so you have to have some sort of combination that links, so to speak, of what's happening in the real world with what's happening on the blockchain, and kind of connect them together. So when I look at that stuff and consider that stuff, I do believe that Link does have a lot of runs to go through, and that it is severely underpriced at its current price. Now, another one that I also believe is highly underpriced is Ethereum. Ethereum should be at least 10x of what it is right now, and below $400, it's a bargain. Okay. Now, another ones that is kind of interesting that I promised that I was going to share is that the large cap alts are recovering, and DOT fires engines. After some controversy around its listing time, the DOT token surged to over $4, which is approximately 40% on the daily. DOT belongs to Polkadot, a project that carried a broad interest in the crypto community, and we talked about it here on the channel. So if you want to watch it, just go back onto the YouTube piece and make sure you watch. I want to say it was the last weekend that we did DOTs. Anyways, I can't remember. So you definitely want to watch that piece if you haven't already. And by the way, speaking of the audience over on YouTube, now is the time to actually smash that like button if you haven't already. Because I want to be able to make sure that these algorithms are spreading the news and kind of populating, helping folks in. Most altcoins have recovered from yesterday's dips as well, but still far from their 2020 highs. Chainlink gains over 7% of its value. Cosmos is the most impressive gainer of the day with a price surge of 28%. Balancer, Bytem, NIM, Kusama, and Band Protocol are also increasing their respective value of double digits. Most recent Band price pump with the social media volume regarding the asset, according to the company, the social spike foreshadowed the spike uptick. And, here it is, rising on the social volume. And Band is also another project that I do believe in, and I do think it's really good. It did kind of go up. I did call for a correction. Band has actually, again, hit like $9-10. Could it go a little bit lower? Sure. But it's not a dumping opportunity. It's a buying opportunity, in my humble opinion, especially when it kind of gets off to this crazy low, just like Chainlink. So that's kind of the piece that I think it's important for us to share over here. Now, final piece is that I promised to do this, but we are well over time. So I promise to do. Actually, you know what? Let me check in with the folks. I think we should be okay. You know what? Let's just do this. Let's go in and talk about Algorand really quickly. Let's do a very quick overview of Algorand, because I promised to do it, and then that's going to be it for today. My gosh, I told you we had a lot of stuff. So what is Algorand? Algorand is a next-generation cryptocurrency designed to help create a transparent system in which everyone is able to benefit from and participate in decentralized projects and platforms. It's also a platform a cryptocurrency is based on. Users can join or leave without having to be vetted or approved. Pretty cool. Now, here's the piece that I kind of like about this piece. Security, scalability, and decentralization are the three things that they are focusing on. Its core principle includes performance, simplicity, direct usage, and adoption, and instant verifiability. Pure proof of stake is the consensus mechanism. And, now, so they're talking about, okay, how does this work? Decentralization is the main key to keeping a network such as this secure. Blockchain remains a single chain and it doesn't fork, so it can never be forked away. And random generation chooses the participants in block proposal and in block confirmation, with nobody being involved in both rounds of blocks creation. So that's actually kind of cool. I really do like that. Now, speed. Algorand has solved the issue of sacrificing scalability in favor of security and decentralization by using protocols that allow the finalizing of blocks in 2 rounds. Algorand can process 1,000 transactions a second with a 5% latency. So, in case a network experience a malicious attack. Acquisition. You can acquire Algorand in two different ways. One is you can buy it, right? And the traditional cryptocurrency is bought or mined. And Algorand basically says you can buy it, which you can actually even do it on Coinbase. They're actually listed on Coinbase, if you can believe it. Binance, and I'm sure there's many other places. Or stake it. It can't be mined, but it can be staked. And you buy a small amount of Algorand to start, store it in an offsite wallet, and turn it on your participation node. And next thing you know is Algorand will start to accrue in your wallet as you participate in the creation of blocks and the blockchain. These blocks are permanent on a single chain, so your balance will always be secure. And then this particular article goes in and talks about their funding and their team and that kind of stuff. So you can actually find that on your own if you want to take a look into it. But here is a chart that I wanted to share with you that is, interesting chart. And this is basically a 1 month chart. You can see that it kind of has come up. It's pumped kind of nicely. It has gone down. But here is the crazy part, right? Let's zoom out in a 3 month period. Okay, hopefully this is going to work for me. Maybe not. There we go. In the 3 month period, it actually has done a really fantastic performance. But overall, if you actually take a look at all of the stuff, Algorand is nothing. It's a slight blimp. And as you can see, what it does have, it's sort of a nice U-shaped formation, which, if you know anything about me and have been watching the Money Matters channel, is my favorite thing to see. I love to be able to see a little bit of this and the potential movement. And so there you go. That's kind of one of the things that I wanted to share with you with the price. Of course, this is what their website looks like. So if you want to take a look at it, this is kind of what you can expect to see. And it talks about, who's in it and who's on the team and that kind of stuff and the technology. And so that's where you can find it. The final piece that I wanted to share with you is if you go to cryptonews.com, they actually have this thing called Price Tracker that I have actually just seen today. I didn't know this about before. Maybe you have, but I haven't. So I wanted to share with you. If you go to the cryptonews.com and look at Price Tracker, what it does, it gives you where is the best place to buy, like with what exchange, and then the best place to sell. And I'm going to try to zoom out so that you can kind of see what this looks like. All right. I know you can't like see the stuff. Maybe I zoomed out too much. I love the fact that folks have the social, but when your social gets in a way of what you're trying to share, that's really problematic. Anyways, so what it does, it basically shows you like, hey, if you buy a Bitcoin, for example, it's the lowest price is on KuCoin, and then if you sell it on Bitfinex, you can see that it's basically buy at 11,543, but sell at 11,559. Cool. Same thing with it does with Ethereum, where it's like, hey, you can buy it for 386 and sell it for 387. So not as big of a gap when it comes to Ethereum. I've noticed that already. I've been watching for a little bit. Bitcoin Cash, I mean, we're talking 29 cents. Give me a break. I'm not even, as they say, for 29 cents, I'm not even going to pick it up. But anyways, you will see that it does for many other coins as well, that it kind of gives you a little bit of a play if you want to. So it's a very cool thing. I'm sure that there's other websites that do the same stuff, but I just wanted to share a resource for you. I personally don't trade. I personally am an investor. Does that mean that I don't sell something? No, it doesn't mean that I don't sell it. But it just means that when I buy something, I typically look at the long term as opposed to making a spread of, $5 or 22 cents or whatever it is. But then again, to each their own. I know that a lot of traders make a lot of money doing that stuff, and I don't judge. It's just not something that I want to do. I have other things that I need to be working on rather than sitting there and trading consistently. So, anyways, that's it for today. We're going to go into the live Q&A in just a second for everybody watching this live. For everybody else, smash the like button, subscribe, hit the bell button, and I will see you tomorrow. Until then, stay forever money blessed, and do remember, you are only one deal away.